Hey everybody, welcome to Real Training Live. It is Wednesday. It is 1 o'clock Eastern Time. You guys are in the right place. Good job. So we are going to kick this off here today on this 13th of June. And we're going to talk to you guys today about an exciting topic, guys. I can't wait to talk with you about cold prospecting, because I know for so many agents, for so many years, this has been like a literal terror for them. Like, how in the world do you get effective with going out and talking to people that you don't know? Well, guess what? We're going to break it down. We're going to make it simple today on this week's episode of Real Training Live. So give me 1 second, guys. I am just going to adjust my monitor. I want to make sure that I can see you guys. And that obviously if you have questions, I'm looking for the thumbs up, I'm looking for the wow faces, I'm looking for the likes and the shares, all right? So make sure you guys are sharing this as you jump on board with me this week. Just give me 1 second here. I just want to make sure that I can actually see you guys. That's always helpful. So there we go. We should be good to go, man. So like I said, I'm encouraging all of you as you jump into this class, whether you're watching it live or you're watching it as a rebroadcast, please hit that share button. Find 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 agents that you know that could benefit from hearing this information in Real Training Live, okay? So if you are live, let me know in the comments below. Just put the word live. If you're rebroadcasting it with me, which is totally fine, love our rebroadcasters, make sure that you say that as well, all right? So as always, there are two things that I show up with every single time I get in front of the camera, all right? Anytime I'm stepping on stage to present to an audience, anytime I'm putting on the headset and doing a coaching call, I got two things. Number one is I want to bring information, right? I want to bring tools, I want to bring scripts, ideas, systems, and anything and everything else that I know is going to help you guys succeed. Okay, that is my goal. That's my passion. It's been my passion for over 20 years to help agents just like you to know what is going on out there and to just replicate what the top agents are doing, right? And then the second thing every single time that I teach a class or that I am working with agents is I want to give you the kick in the pants that you might need, that impetus, that motivation, that shot in the arm to go do something. Okay? It does no good to gather knowledge. Okay, that saying that knowledge equals power has been around for a long time. And frankly, I don't agree with that, just the way it's written like that, right? Knowledge by itself is not power, guys, until you do something with it. Because we know lots of agents who have lots of knowledge, man. They could stand up and blah, blah, blah and talk all day long about all these things, but they never do anything, so they don't get the results. Guys, I don't want you to be like that. I don't want you to show up today, get some ideas, get some tools, get a few script ideas, and then just go back and do everything as normal, right? We need you to change. We need you to change your behavior. And right up here, guys, we got to change your thinking, okay? So that is the purpose of Real Training Live. And today we are going to talk about the art of cold prospecting. So again, if you're with me, hit the like button, guys. Give me the thumbs up. Give me the wow face. Give me the interaction. And let's get into this topic, all right? So I want to start with some basic things, okay? We're going to set the stage, so to speak, for this conversation. So in real estate, you guys have to understand this. I think if you followed me and paid attention to anything that I've been talking about over the last several months, last several years, you know what I'm going to say next, okay? And that is that your job description as a real estate sales professional, your job description is to identify the people in your marketplace who are committed to selling or buying a property at some point in the near future. Okay? That's your job description. You're looking for the people who need what you do for a living. And what you do for a living is you assist people either sell properties or buy properties. That's how you get paid as a real estate salesperson, right? So because of that, because your job is to go out into the marketplace and figure out, man, who are these people? And some people make it easy. And we have classes, plenty of information that I've talked to you guys about as far as for sale by owners. Expireds, okay? Those are two obvious groups. We've talked about and we've worked through past customers and SOI, right? Where you are going out and engaging with people that you already know or you've already done business with, and you're looking to get repeat and referral business. We know about that. Okay, lots of other sources. You can do open houses. You can, work with builders. You can do probate and estate and trust and all these different things. But guys, there's a big group of people out there that you don't know. You have no connection with. You have no immediate reason to call them. And that is your biggest audience. So you need to get good. You need to learn how to engage with, communicate with, interact with, and ultimately do business with people that you've never met before. And you have no other reason to reach out to them, okay? Because again, with all these other sources, you have an obvious point of rapport. A FSBO, they're trying to sell it on their own. Hello, that's your reason for contacting them, right? And that's what you talk about. Same thing with an expired. If you're working probates or divorce attorneys or whatever, they have contact with people who are probably going to need to sell real estate. That's your reason for calling. But if we're just talking about a neighborhood, right? A set of streets, a subdivision, a section of town that you want to start getting more business from, and you're thinking, okay, well, let me go talk to those hundreds and thousands of people that are out there. What am I going to say? What's my reason? Why am I going to pick up the phone and call them? Why am I going to knock on their door? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today, okay? And there are lots of reasons, lots of scripts, I guess, that you can utilize. We're going to run through a few of them. I'm going to refresh you on some things I'm sure that you've probably heard before. And maybe, there'll be that one nugget that I say something that you've never quite heard it said that way before, and that's your nugget for today. All right? So either way, your goal is very simple. It's to absorb, it's to ask questions, it's to share, right? I hope that you'll share this, and then it's to go do something. All right? You need to get out of your comfort zone in some cases and go do something with what we talk about. All right? So let's look at one of the very first and most simple types of cold prospecting. All right? And that would be what we would refer to as the just listed and the just sold. Okay? So again, we're thinking to ourselves, all right, I need to get into a conversation with somebody that I have no other obvious reason to approach them about real estate. They're not a FSBO, not an expired, not one of my past clients. They're just this person that happens to live on Banana Street. So I'm trying to come up with a reason so that when they pick up the phone and I say, hey, it's James from XYZ Realty, and their immediate question in their mind, okay, and this is something you need to think about, because we know from all the studies that have been done that 2 questions go through the mind of a person when they are approached and they don't know who they're talking to, okay? So the first question is, who are they and why are they contacting me? What do they want? Okay, psychologically, those are the 2 questions that are going through the mind of anybody that you call and anybody that you knock on their door. Who is this person and what do they want? Okay, so you need to answer those 2 questions quickly in the very first 5 to 10 seconds so that you can quiet that voice in the back of their mind that keeps saying to them, okay? Can you picture this? Like the phone rings, right? And you answer it and you're talking to this person and then somebody's standing right next to you and they're doing this. Who is it? Who is it? What do they want? Who is it? What do they want? You're trying to listen to the conversation and you got this person standing right here. Who is it? What do they want? Who is it? What do they want? That's what your head is doing, okay? That's what your mind is doing. We need to quiet that voice so that they can participate in the conversation, okay? So guys, if that makes sense, give me the thumbs up, man, because I'm trying to get into some basic things that you may not have heard before that are going to help you create stronger engagement with people. All right, so basically you introduce yourself. Hey, this is James with XYZ Realty, and the reason I'm calling you today is, okay? Hey, knock, knock, knock. On the door, they open the door. Hey, it's James from XYZ Realty. Hey, the reason I stopped by today is. So immediately you are telling them who you are and you're going to start to explain what it is you want, why you're there, okay? So remember, there are only so many conversations that make sense to talk to somebody about as far as real estate, okay? Because there's certain things we need to know. Our job is to find the people who want to sell or buy real estate, which means we need to know, A, does this person have any motivation? Do they fit that category? So one of the first and most obvious things that we are trying to figure out from somebody is, do they have any plans to buy or sell property? And do they know of anybody? Can they put you in touch with somebody else that might want to buy or sell property? The next thing we need to know, if the answer is yes, is what's their time frame? Okay, how soon do they want to do that? We also need to know, do they have any agents they're already affiliated with? Okay, in other words, do they already have somebody in mind that they're absolutely 100% committed to using when the time is right? Okay, because guys, there's no point chasing somebody that you'll never get business from, right? Why would you add somebody to your database? Why would you put somebody in your lead follow-up system if you've got 0% chance of getting paid, right? Doesn't make sense. So my point is the conversation that we're going to have, the questions we're going to ask, the script that we're going to use has to get to these questions. At some point, right? The conversation has to move in that direction. But to get there, we can't just knock on the door. I mean, I suppose you could. Knock on the door, they open the door. Hey, when do you plan on moving? Right? I mean, you could do that. And it's interesting now that I say this because I've actually heard of some agents over the years. I've been doing this long enough that I've actually heard of agents that that's their approach. They're on the phone, the person picks up, hey, it's James from XYZ Realty. When do you plan on moving? Right out of the gate. I don't recommend that, okay? It's an option. But my approach is let's quiet their voice, let's get them into conversation, let's be natural, okay? The other big thing you're going to need to take away from this conversation today is that you cannot come across like a salesperson. Now, does that mean that you're not a salesperson? No, you are a salesperson. Does that mean that you can't ask closing questions? No, you need to ask closing questions. What I said was you don't need to come across. They don't need to be overwhelmed with the flavor of sales. What they need to understand is that you're a human being. Yes, you happen to be a salesperson, but you're a human being who is looking to either help them or you're looking on behalf of other people that you are trying to help. Okay? So in other words, your motivation for contacting them is not just about you. It's not about, hey man, I need another paycheck. I've got a goal. I'm trying to sell 100 houses this year so I can make $1 million, man, and I'm looking to have you be a part of that. That's not what we're trying to come across with. Okay? So you're going to notice that the dialogues and the scripts and the conversation that I suggest to you is more, I'll call it human-based, right? You're trying to connect with them as a person and get their walls down. Because think about this, guys. Do people have natural defenses when they feel like they're being sold, right? Does that happen? You guys know the answer to that. People's walls go up immediately when they sense that they're in a selling situation. Okay? So we need to say things and do things that are going to bring these walls down so they will communicate. Because if they won't communicate, right? If they don't answer your questions, if they won't participate in the conversation, how are you going to know if they actually are somebody that you should follow up with? Right? It doesn't even make sense. So let's go back to our just listed, just sold. Hi, this is James from XYZ Realty. Hey, the reason I was reaching out to you today was we're actually really excited. Have you guys noticed the sign that we just put up down the street from you guys, that property for sale on Banana Street? Have you guys seen that? Maybe they have, maybe they haven't. Well, like I said, we're excited because we just put this property up for sale. And one of the things we know is that there are lots of other people who are probably considering doing the same thing. So I just wanted to reach out, let you know it's available, and find out, first of all, do you guys know of anyone else that has been talking about selling or maybe buying property in the near future? Okay, so it's pretty straightforward. It's pretty simple, that approach, that script, right? You're asking questions pretty quickly into the dialogue because you want it to be a dialogue. You don't want to just talk at them for like 15 to 20 seconds straight. You need to get them engaged. So we ask them a question. And you notice one of the other words that I used right at the beginning. I used the word excited, okay? Because again, excitement, enthusiasm, and energy is the essence of communication. And it's the thing that people pick up on, and it's what causes them to respond and to engage back, right? Is that they sense there's a little bit of excitement, there's a little bit of life and enthusiasm in this person, okay? There's nothing worse than getting a sales call and then the person sounds like they're dead, okay? They sound like they're a robot. And they're like, hi, I was calling on behalf of this organization, and we're doing a survey today to find out if you'd be interested in. And it's like they've lost you immediately, man. Because there is no life, there's no enthusiasm, and there's lots of other reasons that you probably don't want to talk to that person. But you get somebody on the phone and you're like, hey man, we're really excited. The reason I'm calling is we're actually pretty excited about this. Have you guys noticed that new sign that just went up around the corner? That property for sale on Banana Street? Or if it's a sold property, right? Did you guys notice we just put the sold rider up on that property that's been for sale down the street from you guys? Did you notice that? Yeah, we're excited. We just got that sold. The sellers are super happy. And really, I'm just reaching out today to let everybody know that. And I wanted to ask you a quick question. Do you guys happen to know of anybody else who's also thinking of either buying or selling property in the near future? Right? So it's very simple. We have a reason we have a purpose for the call. It's to inform, it's to keep people up to date and up to speed on what's going on in their neighborhood. Okay? Relevant information. And it's to then find out, do they or anybody they know of have plans to sell or buy property? Because remember, that's our goal. Guys, our goal, our objective is to get into the essential real estate question. Let's put it that way, okay? It is the essential real estate question. Do you or anyone you know of have a plan to sell or buy property in the near future? That's it. Everything else stems from that, right? Every other real estate conversation starts from that point. Because if they say, yeah, we've thought about it, man, that takes you down an endless number of roads where you're starting to dig in and qualify and get more information and start to see if they want to meet with you. And, I got some information I'd like to drop off. And, hey, let me come check out your home and all these other things, right? But it starts with, do you or anyone you know of have a plan to sell or buy real estate in the near future? Okay, so I hope this is making sense, guys, all right? So your purpose for getting into that question, in other words, is because you just listed something down the street. Or you just sold something down the street from them. That's the whole point of the just listed or the just sold phone call or door knock. Okay, that's my reason for starting a conversation about real estate. And as a result of that, I'm going to ask you these questions. And if they decide or if they open up to you and say, yeah, we've thought about it. Yeah, we are planning to do that probably next year. Great. Tell me a little bit more about that. Where are you guys looking to go once you get the property sold? How soon did you want to be there in a perfect world? And any other question that's on your normal qualifying script, right? So that is one approach to getting into the cold door conversation or the cold phone conversation. Let's look at another one. Let's say, for example, that you are promoting an open house, okay? You've got this listing, or maybe you're doing this on behalf of another agent, and you're going to hold the property open. Very simple. Your reason for calling at this point is to announce the open house and to invite them to it. And then from there, you dig into more real estate conversation, okay? So, same introduction. Hey, this is James from XYZ Realty. Hey, the reason I was calling you today, real quickly, is we're excited about this open house we're doing this weekend, and we wanted to invite you to come join us. Okay, it's going to be Saturday from 12 to 3. It's going to be Sunday from 11 to 2. It's whatever. Okay? And you then move into the rest of the conversation, right? The sellers are excited to have us hold this open. We're looking to get a lot of traffic through and ultimately get a great price for the property to help keep values in the neighborhood up. Are you guys excited about that? Yeah, okay, great. Do you think by any chance you might be able to stop down for a couple minutes on Sunday afternoon? Love to have you. As a matter of fact, if you come down and register, we're giving away 2 $50 Visa gift cards to 2 random people who come through the open house. Come down, get yourself registered. Love to give you that Visa gift card. Okay, that's an option. You can use a hook like that to get people into your properties where you're doing a drawing. But again, once you've taken the walls down, you've got them into conversation, then guess what? Hey, real quickly before I let you go, I just wanted to ask, do you happen to know of anyone else who's been talking about selling or maybe even buying property at some point in the near future? Can you think of anybody at all? Friend, family member, coworker, neighbor? Okay, and then they're going to say yes or no. Most of the time it's no. And then you say, hey, what about you guys? Have you given any thought yourself to making a move at some point down the road? And then hopefully they say, well, yeah, we've kind of thought about it. Okay, fantastic. So tell me a little more about that. But you see how you get into those questions because you have a reason, you have a hook, you have a purpose for your initial hello to them, whether it's at the door or on the phone. It's, hey, we're excited we're holding this property open. Hey, we're really excited we just sold this property. Yeah, we just listed a new home, right? And then there's another approach that you can take. And this, by the way, I'll be honest, this is one of my favorites. Because, see, you can look for one of two things. You can look for buyers or you can look for sellers. And in this market especially, we need inventory, right, guys? I mean, I am sure every one of you that's watching this is in a market where there is still a lot of demand and there's probably not much for sale. And what's interesting is I know, and I've had a lot of my clients tell me that this is starting to shift just a little bit over the last month or two. But in general, most markets are still a seller's market. There's a high demand and not a lot of inventory. So what do we want? We want more listings, man. So that's what we need to ask for. Okay? We need to specifically hone in on the fact that we want more listings. We need to know about more people who are thinking of selling. So how do we get there? Well, you can do what I call the hot market script. And like I said, guys, just being completely transparent, this is my favorite one of all the cold call scripts. Okay? Because what you're doing is you're getting down and real with them. And you're saying basically, look, this is James with XYZ Realty. Hey, real quickly, the reason for my call is that we actually have a lot of buyers that we're really trying to help find a property, and there's just nothing for sale. Are you guys familiar with what's going on in our market right now? Okay, again, notice how I insert a question in the first 10 seconds because I don't want to just start talking. I need them to engage. I need them to respond to something. I need to bring their walls down. I need them to realize that I'm a human being. I'm not just some sleazy salesperson. Okay? And I'll tell you, I've got a lot of clients who prospect cold calls like this, and right up front, okay, right at the beginning of their conversation, before they even ask a question, they will say, hey, it's James from XYZ Realty, and I just want to let you know right up front, I am not trying to sell anything. I'm not trying to promote anything. I just am calling today because, and they go into their reason. So they're actually inserting that little, I'm not trying to sell you anything, and I'm not trying to promote anything. Because that's why so many people are resistant to even picking up the phone in the first place. Because, as a society, we have ruined, in some degrees, the prospecting process because every industry has bombarded people with their product, with their need, and in a lot of cases with scams. And people are wary. So we got to understand the environment we're in. We need to get people engaged quickly. We need to get them willing to talk to you and realize, okay, man, this isn't a threatening call. This isn't some conversation that I'm going to have to pay attention to my wallet, and they're not going to ask me for anything because you told them right up front, hey, I'm not trying to sell anything. I'm not trying to promote anything. I'm just calling, frankly, because we actually have buyers right now that are really struggling to find a property. They want to purchase something. We don't have much for sale. Are you familiar with what's going on in our marketplace? Very conversational, very casual, designed to bring the walls and the defenses down so they will talk to you. They will answer your question. They'll say, yeah, we've heard. Yeah, this has been going on for a while, hasn't it? Yeah, it has. And as I mentioned, there's several families right now that are they've really had a hard time finding a property. And I was kind of hoping you could help me. If you thought about it for just a second, is there anybody at all that you can think of who's been talking about making a move in the near future? There's my next question. They're either going to say yes or no, basically, right? And then I'm going to say, okay, well, look, I really appreciate you thinking about that for a second. What about you guys? Have you given any thought yourself to making a move at some point down the road? And they're going to say yes or no. But we've asked the essential real estate question, guys. And we've been able to do it in a way that has hopefully caused them to actually respond and engage. Okay, that's why I called this title The Art of Cold Lead Generation. Because, again, you have no other reason for invading this person's privacy, so to speak, for reaching into their life. They're not a physical, they're not an expired, they're not a person you already know. You see my point? You got to have a reason for them to talk to you. So the reason is, and we've just talked about 4 of them, guys. Open house, just listed, just sold, hot market script, where you've got buyers, right, that you're trying to converse with, or trying to help, rather. So one of the things I want to mention, we've talked about, and I've used this phrase a lot, doors and phones, right? And I think a lot of you realize this, but I think it's important to know, to reiterate this point, is that doors are more effective, but phones are more efficient. Okay? You can't talk to, in most cases, you're not going to talk to as many people at the door in the same amount of time as you could talk to on the phone. However, your connectivity, your rapport, and your engagement with people face-to-face is through the roof. It is infinitely better than it is on the phone. Okay? So you need to utilize both, right? You need to be out there on the streets at times when people are home. Okay? So that's probably going to mean after 5:30, 6 o'clock. And this is the perfect time of year. Okay? For the last month and a half, we've had daylight until, 7:30, 8 o'clock or later. And we're going to have it for the next 2 or 3 months. This is your time, guys. This is the time to identify the neighborhoods and the areas that you want to get out to in the evenings. And I'm going to strongly encourage you, take at least 1, maybe 2 nights a week, that you work it out with your family and you get out there from, say, 6 to 8 or even 5:30 to 8. And man, you just bang these doors and you talk to people and you ask them the essential real estate question. Do you know of anybody that's considering or talking about selling or buying property? And do you folks have any plans to do that yourself? Okay? And the way that you get into that conversation, the way that you open the door, so to speak, to be able to ask those questions is good rapport up front, good disclosure up front, connecting with them as a human being, not just a salesperson that they have to be wary of, and get them engaged right off the bat, okay, with a question. All right, have you guys seen that sign? Are you familiar with what's going on in our marketplace? Did you get the invite? Whatever it is that gets them to respond, and then you take it from there. All right. So if this has helped you, all right, if some of the stuff we've talked about today is making sense and you can see how this could improve your effectiveness, hit that thumbs up button, man, guys. Give me the likes, give me the wows, give me the questions or comments. And please hit the share button. Just reach over, man. It's right there. Just hit that share button and pick 1 or 2 or 5 or 10 agents that you want to get this message in front of. All right. Hey, appreciate that. I saw some likes floating across the screen there, some thumbs up. Appreciate that, guys. All right. So, like I've said to you on many of these weekly episodes of Real Training Live, we don't need to beat a dead horse. We don't need to, keep you for an hour just because I want to feel like I've got people on the hook for an hour. This is what I wanted to talk about today. Okay, the art of cold lead generation, whether it's on the phone or at the door. And the essential part of it is remembering that you need a reason, you have to have a purpose for why you're going to engage with them. You need to know what your essential questions are that must be asked, but we've got to shift them into a place mentally and emotionally where they're willing to talk to you, where they don't have the hand out, the stiff arm. The walls aren't up. We've taken them down. We've relaxed them. We've allowed them to see you as a human being, not just a salesperson that they have to watch out for. Okay, so I'm hoping that you'll notice the tonality that I used in a lot of these dialogues, that it's very casual, it's very non-threatening, it's very relaxed, and it's relatable. Okay, that is the essence of communication, is you have to be energetic. Okay, you got to be enthusiastic. They need to sense that you're alive and you're passionate about what you're doing, but they can't feel like at any moment you're about to snap the trap and you're going to get them. Okay, I'm not calling to sell anything and I'm not promoting anything, but really I was hoping you could help me because here's what's going on. Or whatever you're going to say, okay? So again, please ask questions, send comments, let me know what else I can do to help you take this to the next level. We've spent basically about 30 minutes together. All right, so I'm hoping that you've got at least 1 or 2 nuggets that you can use, all right? So if there are no other questions, if there's nothing else that is immediately pressing, guys, I'm going to let you get back to work, okay? It's your time to get out there and get to work and make some things happen in your business. Let's be back here again next Wednesday, 1 o'clock Eastern Time for Real Training Live. And I'm hoping that you'll share this message with somebody, all right? So guys, have a great time. Appreciate your attendance today. Let's get out there and make today count. We'll talk to you soon.